my God. What's going on, guys? This is Gary with my full review and my thoughts of the Hpi Savage XL Flux. This is a 1/7 scale monster truck from Hpi. This is a new release of an old style of truck. It used to come in nitro only, and they have upgraded this with the brushless system basically only. It does have the Savage Flux transmission in it with the slipper clutch and everything, but we'll get into this, get into it nice and deep like. Alright, let's go over the boring stuff first. So the transmitter, this thing is starting to grow on me. If you've seen my unboxing videos and stuff and my reviews of the Hpi products that I have reviewed, I always talk about how I'm not a huge fan of this radio, but it is growing on me. As most of you guys know that watch my channel, I do hold my transmitter funky with holding it in my right hand and steering with my left hand. The only reason I kind of shy away from this is because my knuckle doesn't fit under there. I know it's like goofy handed or whatever, but this thing has amazing range. It's got a lot of stuff for ready to run transmitter, and it is growing on me, and it runs on 4 AA's. Now the owner's manual and everything is top notch, of course. Your little bag of goodies you get is pretty good as well. You get some foams for the battery trays, you get a spare wheel nut, some miscellaneous hardware, a couple of body clips, a couple of shims. I even see a hex pin in there, body post in there. You get preload spacers, some shock hardware, and you get a couple of servo horns. I would have liked to see a wheelie bar come with this thing. It is the Flux version. It's got a lot of power. I would have liked, especially for the price, I would have liked to seen it come with the wheelie bar you can get for it. But aside from that, the stuff you get with this is pretty good to go. You know, it'll set you up good. You got your wheel wrench and everything, so that's pretty kudos. Now getting to the truck. Now, from things I read before actually getting this truck, some people were saying the body takes a lot of damage and gets beat up pretty bad. Well, this thing hasn't taken a bunch of spills. It actually is well mannered, and the body hasn't taken a ton of damage, but it has taken some hits, and as you can see, it's only got a couple scuffs. One hit kind of twisted it, and it looks a little twisted when it's sitting on the truck. But all in all, this body has been solid. There's no cracks, and from my experience with it so far, it'll take a whole lot more bashing to come, and I do think it looks pretty cool. Now moving on to the actual truck here. All right, so I'm going to go over some pros and some cons. You know, it does even out pretty well, and I'll wait to tell you guys what my full-blown thoughts of this truck until the end of this video. So couple pros about this truck is I absolutely love the ESC and motor combination that come in this truck. I'm not sure if this is the original torque motor. If it is, it's awesome. If not, if that was updated along with the ESC, it just works. The system in this thing is top notch. I haven't tuned it at all. I like it right out of the box. I think it works perfect. It's got good throttle response. It's got a ton of power. It's got good power on 4S. It's got heaps of power on 6S. I didn't have any heat issues or anything with this truck. So, I mean, as far as the ESC and the motor, I'm giving those a huge thumbs up. They are definitely a great combination. The servo as well works awesome too. And for the tires on this thing and for its setup, it handles really nicely. Except for the tires aren't that great, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the electronics in this truck 2 thumbs up, big time. This motor and ESC combo is definitely something I like. Now to go to a con on this thing, I'm going to go ahead and say that the not being able to tune the suspension very much is a con for me. It does come with a lot of outside camber on the rear, and I would have liked to be able to adjust that to get the tires to sit at least a little bit straighter up. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but the tires tend to like sit, the tops are out quite a bit, so it does have a lot of camber on it. Another con about this truck is that, like I said in the beginning, it's just basically the same old design. From the bumpers and everything, having to run the zip ties on the bumpers so that your upper hinge pins don't fall out. Going from that, I've heard the diffs are weak. I can't attest to that. I thought I was having diff problems. It turned out that it was just a wheel hex had loosened up. But I heard the diffs aren't very good. But from my experience, it's just, you know, it's a really old design. It's the original Savage design, and it does work well, but I would have liked to seen them with this new revamp of it and how much money they charge for this truck. I would have liked to seen something a little bit different. On another con, I'm going to say, is the tires. These are the same old tires. They've been running on the Savage forever. They've always been not very good. They remain to be not very good, and I would have liked to seen new tires on this truck. I think the Savage Octane comes with different tires, but that's like the huge one with the big old weed eater motor in it and everything. Another con is going to be these wheel nuts, these proprietary wheel nuts that have been on the Savage since the beginning. HPI, I mean, it's not that big of a deal to go ahead and throw some 17mm hexes on here. It would have done you guys a lot of good, especially in this review, because that was one of the only things I had repeatedly had trouble with on this vehicle. Yep. God dang it. So that is a huge downfall for me. Those wheel nuts are just garbage. It's like $40 to buy the HR upgrades, which will fix that problem entirely. But at the same time, with this truck being a new release and supposed to be upgraded, I would have liked to seen some different stuff on this truck. Going back to the pro side of it, the truck handled well, and you know, despite the tires, and from what I've seen, it's durable. It's a Savage. You know, Savages can take a hit and keep on going. I do also like the battery trays. I really do like how they're set alongside the twin vertical plate chassis, and how generous they are. They're very long. The battery trays are extremely long. They're not all that thick, but I think it's a perfect, you know, length to width ratio. I really like that. The system is waterproof. I do like that as well. It comes with a steel spur gear. I like that. You don't have to worry about having a plastic one in there and having to pull the transmission out when your spur gear goes out. Like I said, I didn't have any problems with the diffs or anything. I didn't even have any breakages on this truck at all. The only thing that repeatedly happened was my tires kept flying off because the proprietary wheel nuts that just don't stay on. If you guys noticed, I did put those back on because when I I didn't buy a 17 millimeter conversion kit. I had some sitting around and I made one myself. I had to grind down the back of it a little bit to get it to fit on there with the spacers this thing comes with. And after recording my last bash, I was just kind of driving it around and I broke one of the pins for that. So whoever wins this in the raffle tomorrow, if they want, I can send those with the truck. But this is how the truck's going to come. There's nothing wrong with it. When I took it out, I didn't allow enough time for the blue thread lock to set up properly. And I have blue thread locked the bejesus out of these now. So I am really, really certain that they're not going to back off. And you'll probably have trouble getting them off. Now, as far as the twin vertical plate chassis, I'm a bigger fan of the flat pan chassis. It's just, they're easier to work on. The layout's a lot more simple. And they do seem, in my experience anyways, to actually handle better. They're more truggy style and buggy style. So they do tend to put the weight down lower to give the truck a better center of gravity and everything. Not to say that this thing has bad center of gravity, which it doesn't really, but I'm a flat pan chassis, kind of guy. That's just my preference. That has nothing to do with the truck. So getting to the end of this, like I said, I didn't have any breakages. I actually do like driving this truck. This truck is really fun to drive. It's got heaps of power. It's got so much power, the way it sits right out of the box, you can't do a full-blown speed run out of the box on 6S because you just simply can't do it. The tires give out. It gets crazy squirrely. Being that it is a twin vertical plate chassis and not a buggy style chassis, it doesn't have the droop screws, so you can't slam it down like you can on those newer style trucks. You could take some of the preload out of the springs, but that's, you're still gonna get the pop up in the front and everything. That'll be another con, I do have to say, is those same old shocks. It's just, for what you pay for this truck, I really do believe that they should have upgraded more than just putting a brushless system in this thing. I do think they should have showed us some new stuff on this truck. So that brings me to my thoughts part of it. My thoughts is this truck is very fun to drive. It seems to be relatively durable, and it handles well for what it is. But would I recommend it? I'm gonna have to go to the bar. The bar has been set at about $500 with the ARMA lineup, and comparing this to an Outcast or a Creighton, it's hands down it would go to the Outcast or Creighton. The difference being this is substantially more expensive. The power systems are relatively comparable. If you wanted to take the money you would save on purchasing an ARMA Outcast or Creighton and put it into that, you could probably put a Castle system in that vehicle for the same or maybe even less, depending on where you get it, what kind of coupons you use or whatever. Depending on that stuff, you could probably get a full-blown brand new Castle system to put in your Creighton for the same or less money than it would take for you to buy this. I think the suspension on this thing is nice, but with those same old plastic body shocks with preload clips, I mean, it's just not impressing me anymore. I wanted to see some new stuff in this truck. So I would say that I wouldn't run out and buy this truck right now, since I'm going to be raffling it off. This is not a truck that I'm like, I have the urge to go get again or go get myself one of these because I liked it so much. That's not to say that I didn't like driving this truck. I didn't have fun. Of course I had fun. It's a big truck. It's got big power, and it is fun to drive. But it's just not one of those wow factor trucks that I am like, dude, I need this truck right now. But that's kind of where I want to leave it. You know, if you feel that you want to get this truck, you want to spend the money, you want to get this truck, you'll have fun with it. And I'm not giving this thing a thumbs down by any means. I'm just saying that I personally wouldn't just run out and buy this truck. I would look at my options and I would probably go a different route. This being a comparable price to the Sin Colossus, the Sin Colossus with all of its flaws, I would still take the Sin Colossus over the Savage XL Flux. It is a lot more truck for the money, and even though, you know, the shocks and the servo and stuff, all of that stuff is worth it on that truck. And the truck comes with amazing tires as well. I had almost no durability issues with that thing as hard as I bashed. And they're both twin vertical plate chassis vehicles. So weighing my options on that, I would rather have the Sin Colossus over the Savage Flux. But that's not to say that I don't enjoy this truck. It's just saying that there's a lot more options out there I would be more comfortable spending my money on than going with the Savage. Well, I hope that was everything you guys wanted. I hope it was informative. You know, we're going to raffle this truck off tomorrow. So you guys that are in the raffle, go ahead and watch for that video to come out tomorrow. Everybody else, this is a decent truck, so if you want to get one, I say go ahead and do it. If you want to weigh your options and maybe decide something else, hopefully this video helped you come to a decision whether you like or dislike this truck, or whether you think your money will be better spent elsewhere. Once again, this is Gary from Killer Off-Road Hobbies saying get out there, get an RC, go have fun, and we'll see you next time. Smash that thumbs up if you like this video. Smash the thumbs down. Subscribe if you're new here. If you don't like this channel, go ahead and unsubscribe. You know, it's all about you guys. It's about the viewers, and I try and make you guys happy. All right. Peace.